Most of the people I know who play games usually prefer using mechanical keyboards. I think part of the reason why people like mechanical keyboard is because they usually last longer, they feel really good, and also they have a more tactile feel compared to a membrane keyboard. But come on lah, let's be honest, I don't think that's the main reason why people get a mechanical keyboard, at least for me. I think most of the appeal comes from the fact that you can actually customize them. You know, make them yours. You can make them look however you want them to look like, and heck, even make them sound however you want to sound like. So if you guys don't know me, I recently got into this hobby because one of my friends gave me his set of keyboard. So he actually built this keyboard from scratch, and I really like how it feels and how it looks. So once he gave me the keyboard, then I suddenly got curious because I really wanted to know how you actually build a keyboard from scratch. So I went on YouTube on TikTok to find how people actually build a custom mechanical keyboard from the bottom, then slowly go up to the keycaps. So that's where I kena racun, because now I feel like building one on my own. But before we build one, let's talk about what makes a keyboard a keyboard. So to answer this question, I asked my really good friend Stuart, who is also a keyboard enthusiast, to help me with this project.
In general, there are basically two types of keyboards. The very normal pre-built ones and the custom ones. The pre-built are the everyday gamer keyboards, like big companies like Razer, Logitech. You can get keyboards from there. And then custom keyboards, that's an entire different story where you have to source your own parts and build it yourself. Parts as in the keyboard kit. The keyboard kit usually includes the case, the PCB, and the plate. The next thing on the list are the switches, one of the most fundamental parts of a keyboard, because that's what makes the keyboard talk. To top it all off, you have the keycaps, the pieces of plastic where you put your fingers on so you can type out the letters.
Stuart has also shown me a bunch of keyboards he owns, and the keyboard that he owns can go up to 1,000 ringgit plus, which is pretty insane if you ask me.
One of the reasons why custom mechanical keyboards are so expensive is because generally these keyboards are not made by big companies that have a lot of budget that can make the keyboards and make them in stock. I mean, there are some enthusiasts that do this. It's quite rare, I would say. Generally, what would happen is the community members would host a group buy. But before the group buy actually happens, there's actually an interest check to see if there are enough demand for a certain kind of keyboard kit, a certain kind of switch, or a certain kind of keycap. And once they have gathered enough requests for the item, the group buy will commence. The duration of the group buy is usually within a month. That's the standard for how group buys would be run nowadays. After the group buy is ended, they finish sourcing the funds, they start manufacturing the products, and once it's done manufacturing, it is then sent out to the buyers.
Alright guys, so now I'm on a mission to build my very first custom mechanical keyboard, and I can't wait. So I actually gave myself a budget of 500 ringgit because I'm that kiam siap. Actually no lah, because 1000 ringgit is like too much for me. So I think 500 ringgit is like the sweet spot. So hopefully I can find something that I really like lah. Okay, so now let me show you guys what I've already put in my cart. So these are the things that I want to get. There's the keyboard kit, the switches, and also the keycaps. So hopefully it will arrive in a week or two, and then by then I will start unboxing it and assemble the keyboard to show you guys. Let me place the order and check out from Shopee, and we'll wait for it to arrive and we'll start fixing it. Guys, it's here, it's finally here. Oh my god, I can't wait. Okay, so these are the things I got from the internet, specifically from Shopee, and these are the parts of the keyboard. Oh my god, I'm super excited. So basically there's three things. So I got the switches, the case, and also the keycaps. Let me show you guys the case first because it's the base. Everyone needs to start from the base. I don't know what kind of joke am I making, but yeah. Alright, so this is the case of the keyboard. I actually consulted Stuart before I made my purchase, and he actually suggested me to get this.
the Skylong.
So generally the keyboard case houses the PCB and the plate and everything that fits inside the keyboard. The materials usually consist of the more budget option. Usually it's plastic. And there are also the more enthusiast materials that can be made into the housing, the case of the keyboard. And the materials can be aluminum, steel, and in some cases glass, acrylic, and so on.
So the one I got is the white color one, which I think it looks really good because I currently own a black one, and now I just wanted something different. So the one I got is a GK64 keyboard, which is also a 60% keyboard. So if you don't know what a 60% keyboard is, it is basically a keyboard that has 60% of the keys that a standard full-size keyboard does. So for a 60% keyboard, you'll be missing out the number pad, function keys, navigation key cluster, and also arrow keys. But this is no ordinary 60% keyboard because it comes with dedicated arrow keys, which is something that a standard 60% keyboard lacks. But of course, you will be compromising on some key sizes and placement. For example, the shift key on the right is now much smaller compared to the ones on a standard 60% keyboard. So currently, I own a 60% keyboard. Wait, let me show you guys. So this is the keyboard that I currently own. It doesn't come with arrow keys, which I really miss because sometimes if you want to go like up, down, left, right, it's very troublesome. I use arrow keys a lot, especially when I'm doing video editing. I really wanted to have arrow keys but on a 60% form factor because I really like this size because this size is like so compact and it's nice to look at. Stuart suggested me is that I get this because it comes with arrow keys and it's the size that I want. Alright, so next up we have the switches.
A switch type is generally divided into 3 different categories. The first and I would say the most sought after choice would be the linear switches. Those are the kind of switches that don't have a bump in the middle of the switch where when you press down, it's smooth to the touch. And then there are the tactile switches. Tactile as in you can feel a tactile bump every time you press down on the switch. It's like something's blocking you, but at the same time, it has a satisfying feeling that helps with your typing. And then lastly, we have the, I would say, not a lot of people would enjoy. They are the clicky switches. I don't have any of them on me right now because I don't own any of them. Basically, every time you click, you press on the switch, it makes a very audible click sound that can sometimes be annoying, loud, obnoxious. So you know, don't use that in an office.
Let me show you what I got. Whew. So as you can see, right, there are 2 different types of switches that I got. So let me show you the one that I really like first. Okay, so these are the Hako Violets, and the reason why I love this switch is because it is tactile and it has this really satisfying scratchy sound, which I will demo to you guys later. And I also got Kale Box Browns. So the reason why I don't get all of them Hako Violets is because Hako Violets are so expensive. A set of 10 will actually cost you about 23 ringgit and 48 cents. So to cut down the expenses, Stuart actually introduced me to this, Kale Box Brown, and they actually sound pretty similar to each other. But it is actually not very cheap also because Kale Box Browns is like 20 ringgit and 44 cents for 10 piece. So let me explain how am I going to assemble the switches. So for the ones that I really like, which is the Hako Violets, I am going to put it on the keys that I use very often. For example, the alphabet letters and also the spacebar. As for the Kale Box Browns, I'm going to place it to the keys that I don't use often. For example, the number rows and also maybe the shift key. Okay, so now we have talked about the case and switches. Let me show you what keycaps I got. Ho 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 ho.
This is one of the most subjective item, I would say, because it comes in a lot of different shapes and sizes and designs. There's something for everyone. Now these keycaps, they generally come in different profiles. These different profiles, they all come in different shapes and sizes, and they can have a very big impact on the acoustics. These profiles are called the more prominent cherry profile, the one that has more color choices, the OEM profile, the taller, stockier version of the keycaps, the SA profile, and the more medium-sized, the XTA profile.
So these keycaps here cost me 116 ringgit. This is the keycaps that I got. Ta-da! Oh, let me just put it aside first. So this is a blue theme keycaps, which I really like because it is so cute. I think these things got me, these keycaps got me. Like, look at this cute animal. The reason why I got this is because to match my white case. And I think it is going to look very, very nice. So in total, I've actually spent around 578 ringgit and 78 cents. I know, it's slightly out of the budget, but look at this. These are so cute. I think I did an impressive job at finding the cheapest thing possible, and it is also something that I like. So without further ado, let's get started on fixing it, assembling this keyboard. Let's go. Okay, let's do this. This will be my guide. So let's do the Hako Violets one first. Yeah, first one down. Wow, so easy to fix leh.
I think it was around a year ago that when I got my first custom PC, and that was when I got introduced to the wonderful world of mechanical keyboards. But at the time, I was a normal pleb that bought gamer keyboards from brands like Razer, Logitech, and I mean, those were fine. I'm not complaining that they're bad. They're usable, but they're not customizable to the extent that we can with custom mechanical keyboards. When I got those keyboards, I wasn't satisfied. I wanted more customizability. I came across this group on Facebook called the Malaysia Mechanical Keyboard Group, and that was when I was dragged down into the rabbit hole they call the custom mechanical keyboard.
Ta-da! I'm done. Woo! Okay, now the keycaps, the main event. Okay, let's start with the escape key. Oh, tactile switches, man. Tactile switches, I tell you. Damn satisfying. Oh my god, it's coming together.
Personally, I spend a lot of money on things that I like. Mechanical keyboards I like very much. Why? It's aesthetic, it's very useful. I use them on a daily basis. I use them to play my games. I use them to finish my work, finish my reports. Having it on my table as a matching piece of the table really looks nice, and I like that.
Listen to that thunk. Alright, I'm done. So now we got everything out of the way. This is it. This is my very first custom mechanical keyboard, and I'm so happy on how it looks like. It looks really good, really cute, and I really like the dual tone gradient color effect that's going on right here, and it really matches the white case that I got. And I'm so excited to show you guys how this sounds like. So let's do a sound test. Overall, it sounds really good. I love the tactile feel because it gives you a bit of the feedback when you're typing. It's not like linear switches because I own a linear switch keyboard, and every time I type, right, it's like typing on nothing. You don't feel the feedback. But with this tactile keyboard, I actually feel the actuation, and it's really nice to press on. If you're new to this, I don't need to spend so much lah. 500 ringgit is actually a lot also for a keyboard. What you're paying for is the customizability. You can actually customize to sound however you want it to sound and look however you want it to look.
this hobby is all preference based. There's no right or wrong. There's no specific switch that is the best, a specific profile that is the best, a specific form factor that is the best. It's all up to you. Everyone has their own interests. Take your time to learn the ropes. If you have any questions or concerns, feel free to reach out to the Malaysia Mechanical Keyboard group. If you have any questions, just post in the group. We're all willing to help.
Alright, so that's it from me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to like our video if you liked it and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already, and to click on the notification bell icon so you won't miss any of our future videos. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!